one of the user is asking that whether it's a best practice to break the heavy workloads using the queuing services, like event-driven mechanism, and then uh, using the serverless functions to like divide the workload, right? But again, the one of the cons that is being mostly talked in serverless computing is that limited execution time, right?
Yeah.
So whether we should use the queuing service, or I believe there is one more way to do like kind of a step functions, if I remember correctly. So maybe
Correct,
what,
correct.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, correct. Yeah, so yeah, this is one good question actually. Anyhow, that is there in our next slide. That is one of the limitations. Till now, we have studied about advantages, but still we haven't come to limitations. But yeah, so in serverless, actually, especially when we go for lambdas or these cloud functions in Azure, uh, I mean, there is actually like kind of, uh, I mean, request execution time limit actually. For lambda, it is not more than 15 minutes actually. And for serverless, generally, lambdas we prefer only for online processing, but not for batch processing or anything. But still, if you want to go with this kind of batch processing, I suggest why to go for lambda. There is still, if you want to go with serverless, use Fargate. Fargate is actually a serverless Kubernetes service. So even actually it can take more workload and it can even process the data, just like how a EKS process the data, and even it can run in batches. Of course, there is a limitation in serverless Fargate that it is only used for stateless applications, but not for stateful applications, where state is not maintained. We cannot maintain any session state. It is completely the state is maintained at the client end. But still, serverless, we cannot completely tell that but just by seeing lambdas, we cannot tell that serverless is only used for less request processing times. Fargate is there actually. Fargate just it will work like normal Kubernetes. It is a serverless component.
Yeah.
Similarly, Cloud Run is there in Google Cloud. Okay, there is that. So that is the reason. If you want to go with a serverless based approach completely, and you want to use batch workloads, you can leverage serverless. If still you want to, I mean, you can leverage Fargate. But still, if you want to go with lambdas, yes.
Mm-hmm.
In lambdas, the lambda processing time is not more than 15 minutes. So what you have to do is either you have to go with step functions that takes multiple lambdas. Each step function is one task in a workflow. You can create a workflow with step functions, and you can divide the tasks between multiple lambdas so that each lambda will not take more than 15 minutes. Process the data in the batches of queues. You can go in that model. Or there is one more model. Actually, it is a raw approach which we can do that also. Even we tried that. For example, we'll in Lambda only we will write a code like listener code when it is actually reaching 15 minutes of time and still the process is running. So this listener will come to know that still the Lambda process is running, but definitely it will time out after 15 minutes. So before 15 minutes, Lambda will trigger a metadata. So that once 15 minutes time is reached, that metadata will trigger again another Lambda execution automatically. So though the state is not maintained, it's completely with stateless data.
Right.
Actually. And we should use checkpoint. Yeah, there's a bit complex process. There is a bit complex process. Still, actually, if we are actually good programming experts, we can achieve this kind of thing. But one thing I'll tell you is with serverless, you can still use Fargate in AWS or in GCP Cloud Run. You can still use, and those kind of capabilities are there even with the batch work.